Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 94 of the San Marino Challenge. Now, today's episode, of course, we've got a lot of fixtures to go through. We've also got the TAM Cup final against Juventus, and we also actually have a couple of transfers that occurred after last episode. There was 2 days before the window shut, and we did bring in 2 transfers here, as you can see. Now, the first player we brought in was Rodrigo Henrique from Corinthians for 16.25 million. Basically, he's a pretty decent left back that I wanted to bring in. I sort of was hesitant about it. Obviously, 53k per week is a lot of wage to be spending on a player that's essentially a backup player. Especially, 16 million pounds as well is no small feat. But we signed him due to the fact that he's obviously quite good, but he's also pretty versatile, can play right back as well. And of course, Benfica were in the process of signing him, and we actually hijacked that deal. So I do like the look of him. He's got really good, defensive stats, good pace on him, good mentals for a 21-year-old as well. And then he's also pretty good going forward with 12 dribbling, 12 first touch, and 10 crossing. He does count as a non-EU player though, so yeah, it is what it is. Obviously, for this season, I think we had 2 non-EU players, and Matty Oliver counted as the first. Of course, England in the game, they've left the European Union with Brexit, so therefore he counts as a non-EU player, and now Henrique also is our other non-EU player. And the other player that we brought in was Matej Buljan, 24-year-old Croatian striker. He was on loan from Chelsea. We're only paying 30k per week wages, and he's just a really, really good first-team quality striker. And since he's come to the club, you can kind of see his average rating at the moment in Serie A is 7.68, and he's got 5 goals and 3 assists in 8 starts with 2 sub appearances. So he's essentially keeping Albani out of the team at the moment, keeping him on the bench more as the rotation player, which I wasn't really expecting. I brought Buljan in as the sort of rotation striker because I didn't feel too confident using Pew in that sort of role. I think Pew's just not really good enough. He's not a top quality Serie A striker, so I think I might move him on as well. I know after the Champions League final, when he scored the goal, I said I would probably keep him at the club forever, but unfortunately we'll probably move him on. The club's kind of in a weird place right now. We've moved a lot of players out, and then we've also signed a lot of players as well, and we're spending some big wages. I think at the moment we're on 1.7 million per week on wages, which is a hell of a lot more than what it used to be. In terms of the players that left on deadline day, we sent a couple of players out on loan. Micheloni went to Cesena, Ugolini went to Potendera, Simone Cervellini, who is the national team left back / centre back, he went out to Trapani. We then sold Marcio to Fiorentina for 4.6 mil. That deal was already sort of set up before, in the last episode anyway. And then finally, Hendrik went to Bologna on loan for 275k per month, which will give us an overall transfer fee of 1.4 million for his loan deal, which is pretty good. Anyway, let's get into the fixtures. We have a lot of fixtures to go over, and some really disappointing fixtures as well. You might guess why there's no quarterfinal Champions League episode right now, and that is because we got knocked out. Anyway, the previous episode was the Supercoppa against AC Milan. We won that 3-1, followed it up with a 4-1 victory over Juventus. Famato, Buljan, and Sabir on the score sheet. We then faced Pescara and managed to beat them 3-1 away from home. Brambati, Famato, and Buljan on the score sheet once again. Unfortunately, we lost the next game. I think it was We were 16 games unbeaten at this point in Serie A, and then we lost to Torino in the 90th minute as well. They got the winner. So yeah, they opened the scoring, and then we got one back through rolls. We then also had Michelotti sent off with 2 yellow cards in the 57th minute, and then D'Antonio managed to get the winner, like I said, in the 90th minute. The next game was a pretty exciting quarter-final for the TIM Cup. A 3-2 victory over Spal. However, it was pretty intense towards the end. As you can see, we opened the scoring through Mattia Rossi, the youth striker for us at the moment. He scored a penalty. We then went 2-0 up through Andy Adam, who is massively impressing. Basically, Formato's been out with an injury for the last... Well, he got an injury for 3 months. And since then, Andy Adam has stepped up. And yeah, since we lost our last... Well, we lost the first leg of the round of 16 in the Champions League. Since then, we've won every game except for the last game I played, in which we should have probably won anyway. But yeah, he got the second goal. They then got one back through Mazzotta. They then got the equaliser in the 87th minute through a penalty, which Mazzotta also put away. And then a minute later, in the 88th, Stan Rossen, the Dutch wonder kid, managed to get the winning goal, putting us through to the semi-final. But unfortunately, we actually lost the next game, which was a Serie A game away from home against AC Milan. And our old friend Byron Taylor opened the scoring, and then they went 2-0 up through Solcic. We then went into the TM Cup semi-final first leg against Napoli away from home. Smashed them 3-0. Albani with a goal. And then Brambati also with a brace. Then came the Champions League first knockout round. And we drew AS Monaco. And unfortunately, we lost 2-0 away from home. And as you can see, that 93rd minute goal there from Ricard basically, I would say, cost us the tie. I don't think we deserved the draw, but as you can see, their defense literally just played so well. They must have shut down everything that we were doing. I mean, they have some good players. De Ligt there, obviously pretty familiar with him in current times. But yeah, we only had 2 shots on target. They only had 4 shots on target, and they scored 2 goals. So, yeah, I mean, I can be a little bit disappointed with that. But again, we just, didn't play anywhere near good enough. We bounced back in the next game, however, and beat Fiorentina 7-0. And the goal scorers were Miele, Zaffarani, the right back, with a hat-trick. Sabir scored a penalty. And then we also had Andy Adam with a brace there as well. The next game was a 1-0 away victory against Bologna. And Stan Rossen was the only goal scorer in that one. Followed it up with a 3-0 victory away to Empoli. Bullion on the score sheet there once again. We also had Brambati sent off with a straight red card. And then, we also had goals from Formato and Viviani, getting his first goal since returning to the club on loan. We then had the second leg of the TIM Cup. The second leg of the semi-final, I should say. And then we managed to beat Napoli 3-1 at home. So a pretty convincing 6-1 victory in the semi-final over the 2 legs. I was pretty happy with that. Gathoron scored a penalty in the 5th minute. And then we also had Mazzari and Bullion on the score sheet for us there. Followed that up with a 4-0 victory over Lazio. Albani, Brambati, and Formato with a brace. Then came the first knockout round second leg, which was at home for us. As you can see, we had Brambati sent off once again on the stroke of halftime. And we also managed to get 1 goal back as the second half started through Zaffarani, his replacement. And essentially, if we managed to score another goal, obviously it would have gone to extra time. And it was pretty disappointing because I think we did actually play really well in this game. Once again, both of their centre-backs and their goalkeeper getting pretty good ratings. I mean, De Ligt with a 7.2, and his partner Arias, who's a pretty good Colombian centre-back here as well, picking up a 7.1 rating there as well. Overall, pretty disappointing. Well, it's very disappointing to be going out in the first knockout round. Yeah, I mean, drawing Monaco. Monaco are a really good side. There's about 3 teams in France that have, really exceeded. Well, PSG maybe not, because they're sort of the same level that they are currently. But Lyon and Monaco have definitely exceeded where they are currently in real life, in present day. They're just, they're on par with the top European clubs at the moment in the game. But yeah, disappointing to go out there. We followed it up with a 1-0 victory away to Spal. Albani getting the only goal of the game. And new signing Henrique getting a red card. We then beat a pretty impressive Sampdoria. Once again, they're really up there in terms of the league table. I'll show you in a second. But yeah, we managed to beat them 3-1. Brambati opened the scoring for us. And then Andy Adam once again getting himself a brace. We then absolutely smashed Perugia 7-0. Another 7-0 result, of course, earlier against Fiorentina there. Pretty impressive, with Brambati getting 4 goals to his name at right back. Pretty impressive stuff, to be honest. We also had Mazzari, Bullian, and Miele on the score sheet. We then managed to also beat Sassuolo 3-0 away from home. Miele opening the scoring in the first minute. Then we had Stan Rossen just before half-time and Gutheron basically on the stroke of full-time. And the most recent game played was a really annoying 0-0 draw against AC Milan. I'll show you this one. This is what I mean by annoying. We had 10 shots on target and we could not score a goal. Donnarumma with a 7.3 rating for the match, and Arthur Henrique, their centre-back, with a 7.4. Really annoying to not score a goal in this game. We definitely deserved to beat them in that one. Anyway, that leaves us with the league table looking like this. As you can see, we are currently in second place, but once again, we do have 3 games in hand over Juventus, and we are only 1 point behind them. So, there's a possibility that we could go 8 points clear if we win all 3 games in hand, which, kind of shows that we're a little bit more dominant than how the league table appears currently. But yeah, good to see Juventus actually up there and, sort of challenging us as well. And they've also made the cup final. We're going to be playing them today. So I'm happy to see them come back. I mentioned it, I think last episode, that they've really been quite disappointing in terms of, the last 2 or 3 seasons. Anyway, today's lineup's going to be very different. We have a couple of injuries, and then we also have a bucket load of suspensions at the moment. Yeah, so basically, we're going to be missing Rossen, Gutheron, Andy Adam, and Michelotti today through suspension. So 4 players there. Formato, of course, out with his serious injury. He's scored 24 goals. I mean, he was on course to, I would say, probably break a record in terms of our highest goal scorers. He might even have that record, I'm not sure. Anyway, in goals today, going to be Ingvarsen. At right back, we're going to go with Zaffarani. The 2 centre-backs, same as always, Cervellini and Sabir. At left back, we're going to go with Hildebrandt. I don't really trust Rodrigo Henrique. I'm a little bit worried about him. 16 mil is a lot of money as well to pay. I know we have 500 mil transfer budget, but paying that much money, I kind of expected him to perform a little bit better when I've used him. Anyway, Brambati today is going to have to be the right winger. We have no left wingers that are able to play, so we're going to move Rolls, who can play on the left wing, from the right wing over to the left wing. Brambati up from right back into right midfield or right wing. In the center of midfield, we're going to go with Miele and Mazzari. And then just sitting behind them will be Novi in the defensive midfield position. Up front, we're going to go with Bullian. And hopefully he can continue his impressive start to his loan. The bench today is going to be Sogodogo, Schmatke, Rodrigo Henrique, Viviani, Oliver, Albani, and Pugh. Also a pretty small bench. I was going to bring Ferretti, the 18-year-old Italian winger, up into the first team. But he also has an injury at the moment, so we weren't able to do that either. Anyway, really, really want to win this cup, especially with how the Champions League's gone. And of course, last season as well, we got knocked out in the semi-final. And we didn't manage to win the domestic cup for the first time in a very long time as well. So I really want to win today, but Juventus, like I said, they're on a bit of a resurgence. And they are playing pretty well as they score a goal in the 9th minute. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a very tough game. We're already behind, which makes things obviously 10 times worse. But it just it frustrates me so much. Like, these teams score from one shot on target like that, from their first shot. However, we can't score from 10 in some games, like the previous one against AC Milan. It just really, does my head in. Anyway, come on, boys. We need to turn this around. As Rolls picks up a yellow card, we'll have to ease him off. He's either footed as well, Rolls, so he can essentially play out on that left wing. I mean, that was a pretty boring first half, apart from their goal, I guess, but we need to be better in this second half, that is for sure. We've only had the one shot on target ourselves. And now Mazzari's picked up a yellow card there as well. As has Novi, so... Oh, and Juventus have scored another goal. You got to be kidding me. Oh, this is not going to plan. This is really not going to plan at all. Alright, we're going to make a sub here. Bullion is on a 6.2. So, again, after talking a player up for some of the episode, it's come back to bite me in the ass, and he's playing a 6.2. We'll also bring Rodrigo Henrique on. I mean, Hildebrandt's on a 6.2 as well. Not good. Not good at all. Can we at least try and get one back? It's not going to happen, is it? Push forward, push forward. Come on, boys. This is a dreadful performance. Can't even get the cross in to the box properly. This is a very frustrating game. We've been playing so well, and then all of a sudden we just couldn't score against AC Milan. I mean, we've got one back through Rolls there. A pretty good assist for Brambati as well. But we've only got 10 minutes left. Can we do the comeback? Come on, Mazzari. Oh my god, hit the crossbar. You've got to be kidding. Come on, boys. Give us one more chance. Corner. Mieli's playing with it. Oh my god, I thought that was in. Albani. That was it. That was the chance. No, that's going to be full time, isn't it? We've lost. I told you, Juventus are looking pretty good this season. They're looking a lot better than they have previously. 2-1 loss to Juventus in the cup final. I really wanted to win this one as well. I really did. Wow. It's a little bit frustrating, but you know what? It definitely motivates me to try and work a little bit harder. And obviously we were playing a bit of a weird team. Our first 11 was quite all over the place due to all those suspensions. I mean, we essentially had 5 first team players out. I mean, we had Formato, Rosson. Who else? I can't even remember who else was out. Let me have a look here for a second. Yeah, Michelotti as well at left back. That's a big loss. Gutheron, not so much, but Andy Adam. I mean, obviously, for Marto being out, Andy Adam was playing really well. And for him to miss out on that game as well, just, I mean, it's all over the place. We've essentially got a right back playing right wing. We've got our right wing playing left wing. We've got essentially like a third choice left back playing as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's disappointing. Anyway, the next thing we have to do is really win the league. If I don't win the league this season, yeah, it's going to be panic stations, and I'm going to be really, really upset, to be honest, because it would be a total failure. I mean, winning the Super Cup is not really anything special. We need to win the league. We're in a pretty good position to do it as well. So if we choke and we throw it away, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough. We also have a couple of things to go over with the national team. We did play our first 2 games in World Cup qualifying. As you can see, our first game, we managed to beat Greece 3-0. DeAngelis opened the scoring for us, and then Terenzi managed to get himself a brace within 2 minutes. Scored in the 21st minute, 23rd minute, and then we also had Micheloni, of course, the player that I signed to the club team so that he wouldn't retire, also picked up a straight red card. So that was not very helpful in the 51st minute. But yeah, as you can see, the whole team pretty much played pretty well. Even the goalkeeper picking up a 7.1 match rating. And then, as you would sort of expect, we got smashed by Croatia. Although we did manage to score a goal. Terenzi once again on the score sheet there. But yeah, as you can see, we're essentially 2-0 down within the first 10 minutes. So it never looked likely. But yeah, good to see a nice little win over Greece there. In terms of the national team ranking, it improved a little bit. As you can see, we're currently in 134th place, joint 134th. I think we're actually joint with Armenia, so you know, it's a pretty interesting place to see us at 134th in the world. Obviously, I want to break the top 100. That's the next goal for the national team. Obviously, it'd be nice to try and qualify for something such as the Euros, but you know, even the Euro qualifiers are still 2 seasons away, 1 season away. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed, although you know we did lose disappointingly. We're gonna do our best to win it back next season, and obviously, like I said, we are going to win the league. Do not get it mistaken. I am not choking. I am not choking. Alright guys, take it easy. Drop a like on the video, subscribe as well, and I'll see you next time.